And, people are super judgmental when you're a kid, especially when you're growing up as a kid. So as a kid, I was playing in the grass, as I could recall, when I was 6, and 2 men, minorities. Not that skin color has anything to do.
Unnecessary for the story,
but they took me behind the school. They sodomized me. They beat me. They did a bunch of sex acts on me, and I was actually dirty. I went home that day. My mom was
2 men grabbed you and they did this to you?
Yeah, they more than molested me. They raped me.
Damn, I never knew the whole story.
My mouth, my private areas, everything. Just rubbed me in the dirt. And you don't know what's happening when you're a kid because you have no understanding. It's like you don't know yes and you don't know no. You're just being introduced to something. So this is happening, so you don't know how to stop it because you're not educated on it.
Yeah.
So this happened to me, and then I went home, and then my mom, she asked me what happened. I told her. She started crying, and then not knowing, my mom washed me in the bathtub, which washed all the evidence off of me.
So the guys never got
prosecuted because there was no proof.
Where are they at now?
Hell.
Are they dead?
No, I don't know. I don't keep tabs on them. I kind of like.
Why don't we go?
No. I remember for years I used to think in the back of my head, I was like, yo, I'm gonna clip this guy.
Yeah.
But eventually I forgot and I forgave and I just stopped keeping up with the guy on Facebook and his brother. And I was
you were like planning shit on him. Again,
yeah, because when I got older, I started getting awareness of what happened to me, and I couldn't tell my friends because, it's like my friends would be like, "Yo, you're gay," or "You're this, you're that," or like you're a faggot. And I'm like, you just can't confide in your friends because they're gonna make fun of you, they're gonna laugh at you, and they don't understand either because you're all kids, and then. That's when I started rebelling against the world.
Well, it's hard to relate to.
And then everything was happening in my house, domestic violence, my parents beating each other up, normalizing it, cops coming, and it was just rough. It was just a mess, my whole household. My mom did her best. My dad was born in 1936, so he's born in an older era where child abuse and beating your wife was a form of discipline. It was way how you discipline people and stuff like that. And, and then I just basically turned to the streets, for drugs, got involved in drugs at 14 years old, smoking weed. And then it was so chaotic. We were on welfare. We couldn't afford counseling.
Yeah.
Couldn't get help. It just, my mom was dealing with her own situation of turmoil. My mom was super passive. Didn't know how to leave my dad. My dad was super abusive to me. Used to beat me up, hit me with a tire iron, physically abuse me, break my lip, just curse me out. And then my sisters and my mom, we all talk to each other, screaming and yelling, super erratic, just emotionally roller coaster. And then everything the next day would be all leveled out, it never happened. Everything that ever happened to me was, we don't talk about that. ACD is going to take you away, or you just don't ever mention anything. Yeah. It was always just swept under the rug. Sweep it under the rug. Don't ever bring it up.
Well, listen, just from looking at the chat here, you're getting so much support.
Yeah, no, and I've been meaning to come out with this to the internet because I feel like a lot of people go through this daily, and it took me a long time to get really confident with it because I had to understand that I was just a victim, and I wasn't in control of that situation. It wasn't something that I agreed to. It just happened to me, and I never really dealt with it the right way, and I used drugs as a form of escape. I sold drugs at 15 because I wanted nice things. I remember my friends, I used to hang out in Staten Island neighborhoods, and I would see people pull up in their brand new Acuras.
I'm not hugging Cody, guys. He understands that I love him. He's my brother, but I'm not going to get up right now and hug him.
Yeah, I see people showing
He'd probably
up.
Be more offended if I did that. He'd probably hit me if I did that. Stop. I appreciate you guys saying that in the chat here, but we're not going to hug.
But then, Kyle got his arm broken, but I had my eye socket broken. I had my nose broken. I had my head broken with a machete.
Yeah, but you opening up about a story like that where, there's people that probably have had stuff like that happen and they're scared to come out and talk about it. I'm sure
it happens all the time.
It's hard for people to relate unless they've gone through some trauma themselves. So
honestly,
you see a big tough guy like you talk about this.
I cried so many times about it, just trying to get some understanding of why it happened to me, and what was the reasoning, and this is why I rebelled against God for a long time. But I realized that this world that we live in, this happens to people all the time. And I realized that now I could help people with this story.
Yeah.
And the hardest part about coming out with it is, just like trying to let it out. I remember like just trying to grasp it, like to tell people, and I was just like just too embarrassed. Like, damn, I was like, I can't tell people this shit. This shit's fucking, they're not gonna fucking understand.
Yeah.
Like, and then eventually, as I got older and sober, and I dealt with it, therapy and just priest and stuff like that, I was like, okay, just come out with this stuff. And then remember one time that I confided in somebody in it. They used it against me as ammo when we had a fallout. Like, oh, you're gay.
Yeah.
And that's why 2 men did that to you.
Mm-hmm.
But these were some evil street people. But
it's hard for people to.
I just think about it, like, I get like glimpse of when of it happening, and it's just like now at this time in my life, it's I have no animosity no more. I wouldn't even do anything to the guy if I seen him.
Really?
I just let it go. I made peace with it. I part way. And
how long did that take? 30 years?
30 years at least. 29.
I think you actually telling people, like, yeah, we're in a members only right now, but that's the best thing you could do about it.
No, it's cool. I want to help people.
When I kept my all my stuff bottled up and I didn't tell anybody what happened, I was in hell. Like, it's different, much different. Like,
well, this is like the first time. I don't even care if this comes out publicly. This message could help many people. I agree to this. Like, it's not about me no more. I already healed from it.
Yeah.
I already owned up to it. I know what happened. I have perfect understanding of what happened. I realized that I was a victim, and I made peace with it. So this story is to help others now.
Yeah.
I'm the light of the world.
Yeah.
And this is me passing the message off.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be crying on the internet and stuff like that, but those videos and me being vulnerable were probably the best things I've ever done. We didn't grow up like that. We grew up to brush it off. You got mental health problems? Fucking get over it, I think you'll help a lot of people. I think
it's fucked up. I think about it all the time because, like, my mom did her best. And
yeah.
I would never blame my mom. My mom dealt with her situation. Your mom had their situation. Everybody had their... Imagine us having a kid right now.
What, like together?
No, not together. But just like if you had a kid with somebody, imagine what they had to go through for your survival. Of how much, like, they had to hustle. Yeah. They had to make money. They had to fucking, who's going to watch him tonight? Who's going to do this? Who's going to cook? It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And you had, 5 brothers and sisters?
4.
Yeah. It's a lot of kids.
And then...
for a single mother.
Yeah, that molestation stuff, like, I hate child predators. Not hate. Hate's such a strong word. I dislike child predators. Like, it's just because of the fact that I'm a victim. And a child is like somebody that's not aware of it, what's happening. There's no yes and there's no no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. Your mind is like a sponge. You grow as you grow older. You get some understanding. So that's why I think it's really like foul play from people to touch kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't touch kids.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
That's why they get beat up in prison.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, thank you for speaking so openly on that, Cody, because it's really the best thing you could do with the situation is forgive, and, people can relate, and they see you. They see this guy that's fucking, a badass dude, and that you have this trauma from an experience from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you've been dealing with it your whole life. Yeah.
By 2 men.
Yeah.
Grown men. 2 men, like, on top of me.
I'm surprised.
In the dirt. Imagine that.
Out even the way you did. I know you're one of the craziest people I know, but...
this is why I said I'm surprised, like, I made it this far. Like,
yeah. We should both be dead or in jail.
I was already in jail. Jail was the last... jail was the last... Jail saved my life.
Yeah.
That was the last finale. I went to the hospital. You came and visited me. You seen me dying. I had chest tubes in my chest.
Yeah.
I was all dying. I was...
It's crazy that we're both still here.
Like, I wasn't supposed to be. I was done. I got out of the hospital after 21 days dying in a hospital. Went out and started doing cocaine and Adderall again.
Well, that's why I call you a fat whale, because I want you to.
It's all good. I don't take any
I know
offense
that.
to body
and
shaming.
You body shame me back.
I
too.
body shame.
You call me anorexic.
I wouldn't
and all-
say it to people I don't know, but I'm comfortable with saying to each other. I could take sarcasm. I could take jokes. I could take. You know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm not a fat whale.
That's right.
I'm a dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So if you see anybody out there in a household, anybody, uncles, aunts, random people, any notice weird behavior around children, just report it, please. Don't allow a child to go through something that I went through. It's not fair to somebody that doesn't know yes or no. It's not cool. It's disgusting behavior. You can't prey on the weak.